You know what's weird? There's like one specific video on my channel where the lighting was perfect. Like, perfect. And I have been trying for the life of me to figure out what time of day that I recorded that video in that it would look like it did in that video. This is the closest I've gotten. What I'm actually here to talk about today is the Mark of Athena. I finished the third book in Heroes of Olympus series, and I have to talk about it because it was the best one yet. I'm going to try to not be too long on this because I'm super anxious to get to the next books, and my guess is, with all that I've heard about all that happens in the next two books, those are probably going to be long. But Mark of Athena is my favorite in the series so far. The first book and second book just didn't have the same vibe, I feel like, that the original Percy Jackson series had as far as the adventures go and how people act and everything like that. And I get it because it's kind of setup books is really what those two were. But this is where it really, really kicks off. And I get a lot of focus on my favorite characters. There's way more Percy and Annabeth. You get way more character development in all of them, especially Annabeth, which we didn't really get any character development from her personally in the original series because we were focusing on Percy. But now that we have all of these different viewpoints, we get all these different character developments. I'm going to dive right into the spoiler section of this. So if you have not read this, go pick up the first and second book and then pick this up and then come back because, oh my gosh, it's worth it. If you're not a huge fan of the first or second book, which I still loved them, but they're a different feel, push through to the third one because it's when it all starts. Okay, so first off, the Argo 2 is wicked. I love how the whole group is always so clueless about Leo's inventions and what all they have in them, what all they can do. It cracks me up that he just surprises them all the time. And it's really endearing because I love Leo. All-time favorite character. That's a lie. Percy is my all-time favorite, but Leo is my favorite of this book. The fact that we get to go to Greece and Rome in this book, I was so excited. They kept talking about them in the last two books, and I didn't know if that was actually legit, like we were actually going to go across the world, because everything was focused on the US in the first series and in the first couple books of this series, which was cool because it was places I recognized. But I really, really like that we get some major new locations in this book, because Greece is obviously at the top of my list of places I want to go before I die. I'd like to go in the next couple of years. I'm sure Rome is gorgeous. So it was really cool seeing those locations and seeing what they do there. It was not what I expected out of those locations. It was not a tourist vibe. They were actually there, like, speaking with gods and different monsters and stuff and doing the things that they came there to do. I don't know why. I thought it would give off different vibes when they were in other countries, but it really was the same types of adventure. Like I said before, I also just love the amount of focus we get on Annabeth in this book. I figured with the Athena being her mom that we'd get some focus on her, but this was really, it felt all about Annabeth, especially towards the end. Her overcoming her fears of spiders and having to fight off the monster that kind of is a spider freaked me out. I'm not even like particularly scared of spiders, but that scene was terrifying. When she was trying to do the Chinese trap, I thought it was going to go, oh my gosh, it's so stressful. But she was the first daughter of Athena to be able to actually retrieve the statue that she needs to retrieve. And she just goes above and beyond even her own siblings, which have the same type of genes in them. Oh, another thing that was super spooky about this book were the Eidolons, is that how you say it? Those ghost things that kept like inhabiting people and speaking through them. And the fact that Hazel kind of always knew that they were there was really creepy and weird, and that they were there a lot more than we even knew they were there. It freaked me out. There's a lot of spooky stuff in this book. I freaking hate Octavian. You see him more than I want to see him in this series. He's so frustrating. But I love Raina. I feel like Raina should have her own point of view in this series because she's actually like a good person and wants to have peace, and she had her heart broken by two different guys, but she's still trying to help them. And I just feel so bad. I feel like she needs somebody. Why doesn't she have somebody that likes her back? This was such a huge step from books 1 and 2 to me. Not just the adventures or the fact that we get so many different points of view in one book. It's just a whole different level of excitement and things happening and characters learning new things about themselves and overcoming fears and everything. It's just so different. There's constant action, constantly meeting new monsters and gods and goddesses. I feel like we meet more in this series so far than we met in the entire Percy Jackson series, which I guess makes sense because we're also meeting the Roman and Greek versions of them, but still, so good. Despite all that, I am incredibly frustrated with this book because of the ending. And if you know, you know, the ending to this book was horrible. It made the whole rest of the book not even worth it. This is our 2 main characters, like the 2 we care about the most, and they're gonna fall into Tartarus at the end of the book. I can't even imagine what it was like for people that were reading these as they were coming out and would have to wait to figure out what happened to them. Because I finished this book and instantly opened the next book because I'm not gonna wait and figure out what's going on. And so far it's still heartbreaking, but I just can't imagine having to wait. I could go on and on about every intricate detail of this book, but I really am just here to say that you really need to read it, and you really need to just pick up the whole series. Like, pick up the first series and then pick up this series. Although you can read this separately, it's a lot better if you've read the first series. And please let me know your thoughts in the comments. I make videos every Thursday, and obviously sometimes other days too. I'll be here to talk about the rest of the series very soon. Probably tomorrow for the next book, honestly. I hope you guys have a fantastic week, and I will see you next time.